Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AK Mindset Podcast. Yo, welcome back, guys, to the AK Mindset AKWatch, following JJK Jujutsu Kaisen, as always, episode 14. Another banger. Formalities first, as always, as you can see on screen, and as you should already know, you can follow us on socials, which include Instagram at the.ak_mindset and on X at the AK Mindset. And joining me today to discuss the events of episode 14 is Choco, aka Daniel. What's good, bro?
Oh, what's going on? Another week, another episode, and yep, it's been like 14 episodes, so you already know what's gonna happen. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, man. At this point, it's formalities, so let's jump back straight into the world of JJK. Another week. Mei battling the smallpox deity. This battle initially starts off quick and kind of ends quick, but what I loved immediately was just as we continue to look at these first grade sorcerers, how analytical they are, how they're able to deduce swiftly the conditions of other people's ability. Like Mei just immediately understanding the smallpox deity's domain was crazy to me, and then also being able to then verify that like in seconds using her crows is very impressive. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I think you already saw she kind of worked out how the guaranteed hit works, and that's very important information when you're dealing with a domain. You need to understand how it's going to hit you, and if you can avoid it, even though it's like a guaranteed hit. So it was very good that she was able to be quite adaptive. Like she just formed the sport quickly, managed to adapt to the situation, and yeah, she was quickly formulating a plan and showing why she's got this grade 1 title. So yeah, I was enjoying watching her work out and try and approach and solve the problem.
Yeah, likewise. I really do love the kind of analytics behind that, like actually seeing people or characters take their time and analyze what's happening, what's presented to them, the information that they have on hand, and there being real like risk for if they don't get it right, and even being able to kind of perform under that type of pressure is absolutely crazy. One thing that also continues to spark some enjoyment in me is the relationship with her brother, but mostly this time because of the fact that this whole time I was thinking, he's just useless, he's just there for the comedic aspect, just to get a reaction from us as viewers. But we've seen today that he's Yu is not there for show. Even though he was used as a distraction and used to enable her to catch the deity or smallpox deity off guard, but still we do see that he has some ability, which is cool.
Yeah. I think it kind of just plays into Mei's personality about not wanting to rely a lot on external people, because she doesn't like to owe people, and then that goes into her whole philosophy about the how she views people in terms of value. And we having the ability to combat domains using the simple domain kind of just explains to why he's even being kept around, and it's a very important skill that he has, because it actually allows Mei to operate freely, and it's probably the main factor why she was able to win the fight.
Yeah, 100%. It just seems like his ability kind of completes her or allows her to be the best or version of herself, or use her smarts and her abilities to its maximum, with like not being fearful that there's certain things she won't be able to come back or fight against. And you can see in this instance with the smallpox deity, just shifting their attention immediately to Iwi, whoever his name is, can't even pronounce it, shifting that attention to him, enabling her to just strike at the most opportune moment was very skillful and very impressive. It also kind of brought up the significance of packs, and it's something that's been continually mentioned over the last like at least 5-6 episodes. Is come up often, just understanding that, especially in the sorcerer world or sorcerer realm, having a pack that has a restriction and is, you know, leveraged with death or something very, very strong just makes people's abilities far more suffocated and far more powerful, stuff like that. Do you think that packs will, even though the risk is high, do you think there will be something that people will continue to like consider, or sorcerers should consider? Should people like Yuji and stuff like that create different packs to improve their abilities quicker, especially with Gojo not on the scene anymore?
I think it kind of just depends, because depends what the pact is, and then technique. With Mei Mei, it makes sense because the pact she's making doesn't really affect her; it really affects the crows, and because the strongest pacts you can make is using your life force. What she kind of does is she's kind of found a loophole where she makes the crows stronger than they should be by making them commit suicide with the binding the pacts. But I mean, I'm not really sure how it'd work for Yuji. I'm not really sure what kind of pact he could make. Maybe one that limits his physical strength in exchange for something else. But he doesn't really. I don't think he has the technical skill or knowledge for that. Maybe someone like Megami or Nobara could also do it. But I think you see people like Nanami with the overtime. He's got a pact on that if he starts working over a certain amount of time. So we've seen it before. Now I think this is just another iteration of the pact or binding vow.
Yeah, for sure. I hope to see it more as well, and different degrees, as you said, like used or implemented in unique ways is one of the things that kind of make JJK and their world kind of very dynamic and interesting. It's just their use of different techniques or stuff like the packs to their advantage. Kind of moving on to Nanami, Maki, and Nobito conversing as they enter the station. Maki getting that slander, I feel like it's very unfair. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, just mentioning you shouldn't be here is crazy to me. But there is basically some truth to it. Like, that's what I was saying. There is some truth to it. So it's one of those when it's like it's not a crazy take, and it kind of brought up the like conversation in my head that most battles we see are usually one-on-one, and when it is more than one sorcerer against, like, say, a group of sorcerers against a group of sorcerers, it seems to put them at a disadvantage somehow or some way. Do you think that was the case here? And do you think they should have like been more thorough and just said, not everybody can go or do this?
Well, I disagree that most fights are one-on-one. You see quite a lot of group fights, even in the past arcs. Like, you had Maki and Megumi versus Hanami, Todo and Yuji versus Hanami as well. Even like Yuji and versus the Choso's brothers. So most of the times they are fighting in groups, and in this instance, it's not really a thing where they weren't prepared per se, because like the ultimate failsafe is Gojo. Just happened that he got sealed, and the people, because they don't really have a communication network, it's kind of hard for them to organize themselves. So it's really just whoever is in the nearby area, and just hoping that they can coordinate when they see each other. So it's kind of difficult to critique them in that sense. Maybe they should have brought stronger people with them, but I mean, I guess they utilized all the forces that they had available at the time, so it's kind of hard to fault them for that. But people like Maki, I mean, Nanami tried to tell her, she didn't want to listen, and you know, she's cool, but she's not on their level. And I think having a third person is useful anyway, but I mean, it's better than nothing. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, that is true. Like, I felt kind of similar. Like, they were just making do with what they had. It's like they don't actually have enough time to do any sort of preparation. And even though Nobuto was mentioned, oh, you shouldn't be here, in his heart, he's not going to be like, don't come fully, because you're going to an environment where you're not even sure of what is going to be there, what you're going to be up against. It's all guesswork, and you have to go head first with no preparation time. So it's like, in that kind of situation, the more the merrier, at least for me. All right, the more people with different types of skill sets, whatever that may be, like, more than happy to join us, because you never know what you're going to come against. And we see they encounter the spirit dragon that was looking like one slug to begin with. That that whole beginning scene was kind of cracking me up. Just seeing it slither around. Nah, the spirit dragon, the curse room spirit.
Octopus.
The octopus thing. Didn't you say he's a dragon or something?
Oh. No, he's clearly a squid or octopus.
Yeah, but he was chatting was. He said something like, when he was mid conversation, and they were saying something. And he was like, "No, I'm a Dagon or dragon or whatever."
No, he said his name is Dagon. That's what he meant.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought he said dragon. I was like, "Rah, dragon, that's crazy." You're the opposite of that. Yeah, the curse room just bursting into life. I love the swift transformation that you get from like a feeble kind of weak creature, then the curse room just evolves and becomes significantly stronger in front of you, and it just kind of shows in JJK you can't take anything at face value. You can't just look at something and presume that, oh my days, like we're gonna have our way with it, because when it transformed, it was a serious candidate. What did you think of the aesthetics? Because I don't know if I was feeling it. I don't think it looked cool to me. Like it just looked like you said, an octopus. It didn't look good, like character wise or design wise. I wasn't really feeling it. What about you?
So you didn't like how he looked?
I hated it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really? I thought he looked fine.
I don't know what was about it, but I think it's after the bug thing. I'm not really trying to see animals become like curse rooms and evolve into some next crazy curse creature with sentience. You know what I mean? Because even when he was talking, it seemed like both were having a TED talk. Like, one was talking about, you know, frames per seconds and you know, upscaling, and then he was talking about, you know, basically all of them have names. I have a name and identity, and I was like, what is going on here? When you're looking like that, you can't be talking like a deep thinker. But that's just me, to be honest. What about you?
Well, I think like, you know he was there in season 1, right? I just want to check you know. I
do not recall. You know, I'm not 100%.
Okay, fair.
With the JJK.
Yeah, they were chilling in his domain.
I see. Oh, the beach domain. That was his domain.
Yeah. You see in this episode.
I seen the episode, but now I remember it's the same domain as season 1 domain. Yep. I thought it was a totally different one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, no, it's the same. But yeah, about him, and then I don't really have any strong feelings towards him because we didn't really get much of his personality before now, and that's probably partly because he was cursed womb. But I guess what I realize, like, the whole group is trying to talk about like they're the real humans, and I guess this is more. It kind of reminds me of when in Bleach, Zomamari, the Black Hollow from the Espadas, he was talking about how the Soul Reapers always killing the Shinagamis without no, the Soul Reapers always killing the Hollows without regards about like how the Hollows feel, and they don't treat them like they're like beings. He was kind of coming along that same line where he's talking about, yeah, we're not just like these curses for you to kill. We have names, we have our own like identities, and you don't respect us. And then like obviously no one really was respecting him, because now Beats is talking about animation and frames per second, trying to do a class on how to animate, and it's just very disrespectful. I can't even lie, but I understood what he was saying, but I mean, it was falling on deaf ears, and you know, now Beto was just talking about them frames and interpolation and 4K and 60 frames per second, and I was just like, you guys are having, like you said, two different conversations, and it's just like, it's very off-putting and strange, you know, just the sequence.
Yeah, for sure. It just seemed like you said, not on the same page. I was like, yeah, and if you guys are not gonna communicate with each other or be on the same subject line, just throw hands, nothing else. Silently throw hands, because we're not here for two different TED Talk specials. Like we can't do that, not simultaneously anyway. We enter his domain, his beach domain, which is an elite domain. I can't lie. Like, I would love to have that. I think that's one of the best domains, not even just for the ability wise, just that you can just anytime you want just be chilling on the beach and living your best life.
No, anytime.
Okay, wait.
Unless you have unlimited
Gojo. Unless you're Gojo. But you know, but to your convenience, when you had the requisite or the needed amount of curse energy to apply the technique, you could be on a beach, and that's what I'm on. His ability and his powers and even his durability is crazy, actually off the chain. Just the concept of having a technique that, when applied, it can't miss when everything is working how it's supposed to be working is stupid. And you could see that he is a real threat, and how those three of them were taking him on was very evident that there was real stakes and real fear, and it kind of made the whole fight very enjoyable. Not in the aspect of this previous fights we've experienced, like regarding just the visuals and the hands just being thrown and the cinematics, but this was more to like leaning on just how kind of desperate and how like on the edge, like we know if we make any mistakes we are dead. And I love that the stakes were high. Did you enjoy the fight as much as I did?
I think what I liked for this altercation is probably this is probably one of the first times, in fact, I'm just racking my brain. Yeah, I'm pretty confident this is one of the first times we see an extended fight within a domain, and just how to manage the guaranteed hit without it becoming a domain battle, although it did become that later on. But I think it just was a really strategic fight with the protagonist in a very disadvantaged position, because like Dagon, even before he did his domain, was showing to be very strong, very durable, and it was tough to beat him. Even though now Beto was doing some stuff, it wasn't really it was going to take a lot of effort to exercise him. And then when you have the death swarm that he's unleashing in his domain, it's very lethal, very hard to beat. You see how it took Nanami out basically almost instantly. And then I think they did a good job of showcasing the situation, how difficult it is for the protagonist, and then how the introduction of Megumi kind of helped to equalize the situation. And even then, they weren't even looking to beat him, they were just looking to escape from him, because they knew that it's unlikely that he can deploy his domain more than once. And they're just once again using Gojo as the measuring stick. They did it twice this episode, because he's the only person to survive the bird strike from Mei. So it's just once again reinforcing he is the pinnacle and most things are just measured up against him. So yeah, I thought it was a good fight. I mean, I heard a lot of complaints about this episode. It was apparently it was bad, and I think that's a separate conversation. But yeah, I enjoyed the whole scene in the beach.
Yeah, I definitely likewise didn't have any issues with this episode, and especially this fight. I thought it brought something different. My expectation is not to see the same thing every week. I like to see that characters have range, and the storyline and stuff that happening day to day or episode by episode has range. And I think this one just showed a different aspects, like you said, of domain, battling in domains and stuff like that. And it just shows the significance of not being caught in domain expansions, and how like they actually change everything as soon as somebody activates theirs. And like if you don't know how to combat their abilities, their advantage as you're playing on their grounds, on their field, is sometimes insurmountable. And for this one, in this case, like, first thing, I was firstly surprised that three of them all together were having so much difficulties, and also surprised that the person who come in clutch to help them was man like Megami, entering the entering the domain, perfect timing, throwing Maki some significant upgrades in regards to weaponry, and immediately kind of battling for supremacy in regards to, you know, when he's opening his domain. So now that is applied, the same level of control that the octopus had, or whatever his name is, Daigon had, is now not the same, and that kind of gave them a little bit of leverage or opportunity to take place. So Megami, he did his thing in it. Like, very impressive. That I think this is probably for him a big kind of jump in terms of fights and stakes and stuff like that. So for him to kind of keep his cool and be able to keep control of his cursed energy and apply it in a way that gives them the opportunity to then, you know, escape without Daigon kind of immediately noticing, is a good look for the future of sorcery.
Yeah, what I really liked about Megami is him knowing that obviously I can't beat this guy when it comes to a battle of domains, but instead being very cerebral and thinking of a way to escape the situation by opening a hole using his domain, and just helping to equalize the playing field as well by just entering, because obviously when you come into the domain, that's kind of like suicide, because you know, no one wants to come in because of the guaranteed hit. You're almost guaranteed to finish you. So I think Megami did a good thing, and he's just showing why he's probably one of the candidates to be grade 1, because he's likely the only first year who can open a domain. Yeah, apart from like people like Utah maybe, but yeah, he's just showing his value right now, and Nanami did a good job to protect him while he was doing that. And then also I liked how he just managed to get the other two to assemble quickly with just like one word, and then you know, it was too late for Dagon to react when they assembled.
Yeah, man. Taking real kind of control of the situation, Megami did, giving his fellow sources opportunity to, you know, have a fighting chance, because they have an understanding that, you know, unlikely Dagon is going to be able to reopen this, as you said. So, you know, just let us level up the playing ground. Let's get out of this domain and then go from there. Before we kind of cover just the episode as a whole, were you surprised how much damage they took so quickly? Because when I saw arm gone, Nanami bleeding everywhere, Maki, likewise, I was like, wow, this is the level, this is the risk, and that was crazy to me.
Well, Nike got off very light because Dagon didn't respect her at all. Like he said, I'll focus 70% on Naobito and 30% on anime. That kind of just gives you kind of a bit of the scaling, or in terms of threat. Naobito clearly the most threatening because he has the I think it was like blossom flower or something like that. That the curse technique that helps him to react on instant to the guaranteed hit of a domain, which is very, very useful. And you saw that he was the only one who could initially withstand the Death Swarm, but once he was concentrating on that, then Dagamo could just beat on him freely, because he's focused on just stopping the guaranteed hit and not focusing on the person who's even controlling the domain. And then Nanami, because of the way it works, it's not even a thing where you can even defend, because when you get bitten, you can't block it because it only manifests once it has even done the damage. So it was very it would have been very difficult for Nanami to do anything against it. He's just lucky that he only focused 30% on him, because if it was like 50-50, then he probably would have came out a lot worse. Naobito, he just lost an arm, which is very bad for him, because when you think about his technique, he needs to use his hands to place on the opponent to activate it. So yeah, he took a lot of damage, and his technique is effectively halved in effectiveness, which is unfortunate. And then Maki, because she was not respected, she got off light, but I'm not sure how she would feel about that.
Yeah, sometimes it shows that, it might be of benefit not to seem to be the strongest. Maybe not be the weakest, but just being looked at to be somebody who's not as strong as others. They'll take you for granted, and lessen the attack or the focus on you. Because even like you said, Maki, I think, mentioned at least twice that, I could have been dead right now if it wasn't for this, or even for this, which is kind of crazy. Like, just to be in a situation where you have to kind of comprehend your own death, or like, I should be gone right now. But yeah, overall thoughts the episodes for me, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. As always, visually stunning. Characters just continue to expand on stuff that we've seen throughout the series, but use it kind of differently. So seeing domains and fighting the domains, and how risk adverse some situations can be when certain people implement it in different ways and stuff like that. It kind of intrigued me. Just seeing Megumi as well kind of shoot up and level up his game under pressure is very impressive. So overall, I love the episode. I don't understand why people wouldn't, but everybody has their opinion. What about you, bro?
No thoughts on the Toji entrance?
I do, but also it's so brief that I was kind of confused. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's mostly why I saw it, and I was like, why is he in the passage? And why is he coming through, and what is he gonna do? And stuff like that. So do you have any thoughts on it? Are you excited about it?
Yeah, I think those are all questions you'll get the answers to next week. I think that's what I think.
I hope so. I very much hope so. I do like seeing a little bit of Toji, but like I said, I also hate seeing him because it reminds me that I need to go gym. Yeah, and a love-hate relationship with Toji. Love-hate relationship for sure. So what did you think about the episode as a whole?
So like yesterday, I was seeing a lot of discourse online, well, against my will really, about how this was the worst episode, and then a lot of fans, I shouldn't even call them fans, just people complaining, and then I saw the staff apologizing,
Oh my days.
even the director. You know, he's talking about he's a scumbag and then he's the worst animator and he shouldn't have come back to the anime industry. He should have just stayed in the video game. And then I watched this episode and I already knew that it's probably not going to be to the degree that they are trying to say. And I mean, for me, it was a pretty standard episode, you know, like a lot of anime don't get this treatment of Jujutsu Kaisen. They don't always get the benefit to look amazing and have great animation all the time. So I feel like this episode wasn't bad at all. Like it wasn't, at the most it was like average. It was fine. There were many moments of great animation, great directing, great scenes in the beginning. You know, Mei, you saw her scenes, they look great. When they were in the beach, when the swarm was coming, it looked great. And then obviously there were some parts that looked a bit janky, but overall it was a great episode. It was a good episode. I don't really get the complaints. I think people are just too used to everything. Everything always has to look pristine, but if you've seen the tweets, you should understand why sometimes it's not going to look perfect. But that's fans. Fans are fickle. They don't really affect my opinion. I mean, obviously there's always a place for critique. You just have to do it in the right way. That's not just being insulting and rude. So yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree. Definitely don't agree with the fans and how they proceed to showcase their thoughts and stuff like that. It's just crazy to me because, like you said, even saying that within JJK, this is an average JJK episode, that's still compared to normal anime episode, still crazy high in quality. In comparison, so I don't know. I don't always see a reason to complain. I didn't see anything crazy, like in terms of like a disparity between the previous episodes. I just thought it pretty much fell in line with what we've got this season, which is good quality stuff. I hate the fact that the producer and studio employees and people who kind of worked in this episode had to apologize. I hate that, because it just kind of sends a wrong message that these people kind of, you know, validates them and they think they're right, or, you know, stuff like that. But man, it's the world we live in. It's the world we live in, so I can't even say too much, man. It's just life. Just have to firm it. Anything else you want to add before we end?
Nope. Just looking forward to next week and looking forward to seeing the carnage that Toji will probably bring.
Likewise, man. You heard it here. JJK episode 14, the AKWatch. Thank you. Appreciate you guys listening and keeping tune as we follow this season. I hope you guys have a good weekend and a good week, and catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.
We love you.